All right, and we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first episode of the Dolphins Dive, Miami Dolphins show hosted on the U Stadium Network. I'm Justin, and everybody welcome Connor.
What's going on?
New to the streaming services. You may recognize me from On the Clock or the Pick Six. On the Clock will be returning next draft season, but for now, me as a Miami Dolphins fan, I wanted to shift more to Miami Dolphins content, and Connor volunteered to join me.
Yep.
All right. So today, for the first episode, with training camp underway, all the camp hype going on, we wanted to get a little bit into a roster preview before they started, getting it down to the 53-man roster. I believe the deadline is August 29th. I could be totally wrong there.
Yeah, it's all weird now because only 3 preseason games. So
yeah,
I don't know when the deadline is, but that sounds about right.
Who knows? But right now, there's roughly 80, 90 players on the roster, and they got to get it down to 53. So we're going to go through the entire roster, every player that's currently on there right now, and, just offer our thoughts, give some predictions. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow U Stadium, follow at the Dolphins Dive on Instagram and Twitter. What's up, Jack? Interact with us, get the page to grow a little bit, get us going, help us out. We really appreciate it. Download the U Stadium app. Join us on there for discussion. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and jump right into the roster preview.
And Jack, I did see what happened in the Mets game. I'm very disappointed.
Hey, Fifth, what's up? All right, let me go ahead and share that. And we should be getting it up any moment.
Money-making position, number 1.
All right, so let's start off with the position everybody loves to talk about. Quarterbacks. Right now, there's 3 on the roster, including Reed Sinnett, year 2, has yet to appear in an NFL game. He spent last year on the practice squad. Newly signed Jacoby Brissett, former Colt, former Patriot, 12 and 20 career record as a starter, filling in for Andrew Luck during his injury and 1 game, I believe, in New England when Tom Brady was suspended. And then, of course, Tua Tagovailoa, the presumed starter going into year 2, 6-3 as a starter last season. Didn't exactly light the world on fire, but was by no means any bad. My thoughts on Tua, I've said this time and time again, I don't think I can't defend everything that he did, obviously. He wasn't Justin Herbert. He wasn't, say, Baker Mayfield or Cam Newton or Andrew Luck level in his rookie year. But, again, he's rookie year,
What I'll say is it was underwhelming for what you wanted to see, but the offense in general wasn't good. The thing with Fitz is Fitz was comfortable in that offense. Fitz is a gunslinger. He'll throw it whenever to whoever. So Tua was used to throwing to open people who create separation. You can see over the offseason now working with bigger bodies like Parker, Matt Collins, guys who don't create separation but use their size to an advantage. You can tell even through just the training camp videos you see, he's way more comfortable throwing to larger guys who can't create as much separation. And it is officially Tua time. The dude is going to ball out. Don't care what nobody says.
I really hope so. I'm expecting improvement at the very least. I'd say a good season, probably over 3,500 yards, probably 25, 27 touchdowns. I would consider that a pretty good season. Keep the turnovers low. If Brissett hops in, we just have to hope that he can keep us afloat.
I would say Brissett's probably one of the best backups in the league. I'd say probably top 5. Starting experience, he can ball. So, obviously we don't want to see Brissett.
Yeah.
Tua's the dude. But worst case scenario, there could be worse. You could have Blake Bortles.
Bottom line, Tua, I just want to see improvement. That's really all you can ask for coming into the season. And I think we'll see that because I believe Eric Rowe, after practice either yesterday or the day before, he came out and said that the playbook was dramatically simplified for Tua.
And I saw that, but we have to acknowledge what this clown Frankie just posted in the chat because homeboy just said the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins twice. I'll bet.
Oh man, Frankie.
Zach Wilson throws 5 picks. I'll bet Zach Wilson's more likely to throw 5 picks against the Dolphins than the Jets even beating them once. The Jets are putrid, sorry-ass football team. Sorry, excuse my language. Don't know what I'm allowed to say. But the Dolphins are going to smoke them. Tua's going to cook that sorry defense. But yes, I saw what Eric Rowe did say, and I don't know who else said it. Lynn Bowden said something today as well, that the offense is more built around the players they have there than the system. And Jordan Howard a week ago basically said Chan Gailey said I wasn't built for the offense.
Oh, so like, I'm so glad Chan is gone.
Yeah, that's a bad hire by Flores too. We're raking in the money here.
Let's go.
What can we say? Literally 7 minutes in, I already got $7. What can we say? We make money.
Just paid for my dinner. Oh man, and of course you got Reed Sinet in there. He's probably going to be, just a practice squad guy. Good.
Yeah.
Squad buddy. He and Kirk Merritt, who we'll be getting to later, have been lighting it up, low key on the
even Isaiah Ford. Our receivers are crazy.
Yeah. But we'll be getting into the receivers a little bit later. Right now, how about we go on to the running back room, which has been a big topic of discussion among the Dolphins fan base. A lot of people wanted to see them draft a running back, at least a little bit higher than they did. They did end up drafting a guy on day 3. But a lot of people wanted Najee Harris at 18. A lot of people wanted Javonte Williams at 36. But Brian Flores, Chris Greer, the crew decided to roll with what they had. And the starters being Myles Gaskin, who put up 972 scrimmage yards in 10 games last season.
So Gaskin, this is the reason I don't think especially with our co-offensive coordinators being the running back coach, they know what they have in the room. Mm-hmm. It was a heartbreaker to see Javonte go pick a front of us. Oh, yeah. That was really sad. But Gaskin, even in camp, he's showing. Like, he was probably one of the top 10 in terms of yards per game last year. If he stays healthy, he's a stud. And his Washington Husky teammate, Ahmed, also provides him, juice. It's a cool storyline, too. Both college roommates, best buds.
Yeah,
I genuinely think if they stay healthy, especially in this new offense, the Dolphins' offense actually seems like it's going to be good. I think those two guys are going to be very good.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Savon Ahmed last season. I believe his first appearance came in the Cardinals game, but he really showed out against the Patriots a few weeks later. He dropped over 100 yards and a touchdown on him. He's
got juice.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the thing with Gaskin is he didn't get to flash everything that he had because of somewhat weak offensive line, but also I got the vibe that defenses could tell when the run was coming. And, with no big downfield threats that we have, we didn't have anybody who could move the ball downfield except for maybe Devontae Parker, but he wasn't much of a separator, not much of a burner. Gaskin didn't have the luxury of having safeties playing back and linebackers playing back and not knowing if they're going to get beat over the top. So the passing game helps the running game. And I believe that 100% for that reason.
And that's the whole thing, especially with the offensive coordinators built into the strengths. You have Tua, whose best attribute of his game is RPO. So you got the RPO. You got the ability to run the ball better than last year because we couldn't even run the ball last year. Our offense was pretty horrible.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to run the ball. You got the RPO. And guess what? If you want to play an extra safety in the box, we have Will Fuller and Jaylen Waddle. They're going to run past you. The speed kills, man, and it's going to open the run game up tremendously. So I expect big years from Gaskin and Ahmed. I think Malcolm Brown's more of a goal line guy. Maybe get some more touches, but Gaskin and Ahmed I see getting 70-30 kind of carry share.
Yeah, probably. Brown and Dokes, those are the bruisers. Dokes was a 7th-round pick out of Cincy. I was actually pretty impressed with this film. I liked what I saw. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's going to bowl people over with everything that he has, that's for sure. Brown, I was excited at first, thinking about it more. I think he's probably going to lose a little bit of his luster in this pretty crowded running back room. Probably a goal line role, which I wouldn't be mad at. He's excellent on the goal line. He did that pretty well in LA. But you don't need to have running backs that are good at everything in this league. What we've seen recently, guys can get picked up off the street and go for 100 yards. As long as you have good scheming and good line play. So I believe, you got your speedsters and Gaskin and Ahmed, you got your bruisers and Brown and Dokes, do your job, very Patriots thing. That's what Brian Flores.
Well, I'm just very sad because with the better running back room, I feel like this might be the year our favorite white running back, Patrick Laird, might get cut. He provides special team value, but that's about it. And I love the guy, the intern.
Yeah.
But I just don't see him making it anymore. But if he does, I won't complain.
Yeah. I do love Patrick Laird. I don't think he's on the roster to begin the season, in all honesty. Same thing with Jordan Scarlett. He was all right in Carolina, but, probably just a camp body. Same thing with Carl Tucker, who was a fullback. He was listed as running back / fullback. I think either practice squad or camp body is in his future.
Yeah.
But, you can never have too much depth. And we can honestly see any of these guys come back in the event of a Gaskin injury or an Ahmed injury.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah, obviously not the best running back room in the world, but, you don't need to have super talented guys back there in order to have an effective running game. And I think that's the mantra that we're rocking with here this season.
Yep, especially with the next position group, which will make the running game much better.
Ooh, I love this receiver room. My opinion completely flipped after 1 year. We lost Parker, we lost Preston, and after that it was just bullocks. But now it's not very, you don't have a singular elite guy in here, but it is very deep. And that's what I like about it.
Like literally there's like 2 guys on here that like I would be like they're not making the team, but like literally anyone else I could see making the team. Mm-hmm. It's so deep, and like right now there's like literally 3 receivers out and they're still producing because the depth. Mm-hmm. The emergence of Albert Wilson, he's going to be a stud this year. I think he gets a lot of playing time.
Oh yeah, Albert Wilson tearing it up in camp. Ridiculous. He had 4 60+ yard touchdowns in as many days. I was really shocked to see how much he was producing. Yeah,
especially because like under Adam Gase, I saw like he was in the slot a lot, getting underneath routes and then using his rack. But he's on the outside, running 9 routes, getting
going over the top. That's exactly that's not something we saw from him.
Especially when you factor in Waddle in the slot and then Will Fuller or Parker on the outside, like the things this receiving core can provide is crazy between size, speed, rack. Like it's night and day from last year.
Yeah. Going with Devontae Parker, Frankie asked, what do you guys realistically expect from Parker in 2021? Parker, longest tenured Dolphin, I believe, year 7 with the team. Had a 1,000-yard year in 2019 with Fitz. Took a bit of a drop last year. He missed some games. But I believe he'll be helped by the other guys in the room. I don't expect them to put up 1,000 yards again. My opinion on Parker has dropped a little bit in recent years, but I really liked what I saw from him in 2019. I don't expect that same production, but like at that volume, but I do think he'll be effective per se because of the talent around him. Devontae Parker is not a number 1 receiver. He's a very good number 2 receiver. And he's a great red zone target for Tua.
I agree with that completely. He's more of a jump ball guy. But another question, Frankie said that adding Waddle wasn't the best idea. I get it, but you also had to seeing Albert Wilson emerge like this couldn't have been predicted coming off a holdout or what was it called? What is it called when they didn't do COVID? There you go. But like on top of the fact that as we saw last year, you need depth in the receiving room because what was like our receiving core against the Patriots last year, which 201 was like Lynn Bowden, Matt Collins,
Alan Hearns, Isaiah Ford. Like as much
you need depth.
Like yeah, those are supplemental guys. They come in like when the guys are tired or if they're a little banged up. You don't want them starting games for you. Like as much as we praise them. But
yeah. And then in general, Waddle's been blown up camp. He's been probably our best receiver. So him or Albert Wilson.
Yeah.
But doesn't hurt to have the depth.
Yeah. I actually don't see Wilson starting despite how much he's been tearing it up in camp this year. He'll definitely be a depth piece. He'll rotate in with Waddle. And as we know, Devontae Parker and Will Fuller both have extensive injury histories. But why don't we talk a little bit about the new addition, Will Fuller? 879 yards, 8 TDs with the Texans last season. He'll be missing the first game due to a suspension. But what are you expecting from him?
I expect a bit like this is the thing. Like I don't really see one individual guy going off. Like I don't know if anyone's gonna have over 1,000, but I just see both distribution. I could see around close to that. Like his stat line last year is pretty much what I expect this year. Mm-hmm. Close to 1,000 yards, but just his threat on the field of his speed just opens up the offense tremendously. So I would say around 900, 950 yards, hopefully like 6 to 8 touchdowns, I think is a fair expectation for him.
Definitely. I think we don't need to have a 1,000-yard receiver in order to be effective. If like Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Jaylen Waddle, and Mike Gesicki, who we'll get to later, if they can all post like say 800 yards each, that's a fairly good surrounding cast for Tua. But moving forward to some of the depth pieces, Preston Williams, 716 yards, 7 touchdowns in 16 career games. He's been banged up a little bit through his first 2 years. Undrafted free agent out of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. Physical freak. He's like, 6'5", 215, runs a 4.4.
Yeah, he's a train.
I love Preston. I just want to see him, stay on the field a little bit more.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's a threat to potentially get cut. I'm not saying he will, but with the performance of other guys and at the back end of your receiver room, you want special teamers. He's a threat to get cut, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think a trade would be decent for him, get a late round pick out of it.
Yeah.
Jakeem Grant, we have very mixed feelings about Jakeem Grant, the Dolphins fan base. I hope he does not see the field on offense, unless it's for like jet sweeps.
Yeah.
Or motion like decoys. Absolute burner in the return game, though. I do hope we keep him for that. As much as Jaylen Waddle's upside as a returner, intrigues me. Jakeem Grant has 5 special teams touchdowns in 5 years.
He'll turn the tide of the game. Like he single-handedly, because in the Rams game, our defense got some momentum, but then he just got the punt return and it ended it. So
he blew it open right there.
Exactly. He's got that threat whenever he touches the ball. So he is getting paid kind of a pretty penny, though, considering what he is. So also could see him potentially get moved, but lightning with the ball in his hand. So you never know.
You never know. You could keep him. You can cut him. I wouldn't be mad either way. Robert Foster signed in the offseason, 642 reception yards over 3 years with the Bills, I believe. I don't know if he was on any other team. Probably just a depth piece. He may or may not make the roster. I'm not sure with the amount of depth we have.
Yeah, I think he caught Tua's first completion in Alabama too. Fun fact.
Yeah, I forgot he was former teammates.
Yeah, like you said, he's back end guy. He's good, right? But I just don't see him making the roster.
Yeah. Lynn Bowden, another maybe cut, maybe stay kind of guy. Swiss Army knife. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He can catch the ball. Whatever you want. He was all right in his time last year. Again, wouldn't be mad if he stays. Wouldn't be mad if he goes. It's just another, good depth piece to have. Alan Hearns, he did have that 1,000-yard season in his second year, I believe. But I believe his time in Miami is probably up.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville Jaguar legend, and then there's
he had a nasty
too much
injury, I think.
Yeah, that I was with the Cowboys. His ankle. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure. But there's just too much depth here. Like the only guys I see, like Mac Hollins might slip in. Bowden, Foster, Grant, Williams are all gonna be fighting for that last spot. The other guys, I don't see making it with the amount of top end guys we got right now. So it's a loaded room.
The depth pieces: Isaiah Ford, Malcolm Perry, Kirk Merritt, and Kyle Luxley probably go back to the practice squad. Mac Hollins brings special teams value. I think that's what I like about him.
Very good special teams value, and even in the training camp, he's been balling with too. Down the seam, he's got a big body.
I had a nasty one-handed catch today.
I didn't see that, but I wish I did.
Yeah, so that's our wide receiver room. It's probably one of, if not the best we've had in years. The additions of Waddle and Fuller will be huge. I remember looking into this not too long ago. Jaylen Waddle was the first receiver we've drafted in the first 3 rounds since Leonte Carew. You remember him?
The Rutgers legend, Leonte.
And before that, it was Jarvis Landry, which was like 2014.
Dude,
so it's been a while.
Landry on the Dolphins so bad.
Same. Yo, if you're still in here, give us Landry back, please.
Favorite Dolphin of all time, no cap, honestly.
All right. Let's go to a position that the coaches love, tight ends. Mike Gesicki, I believe top 10 tight end in the
100%. League. Debate a wall. Let's go.
I say put him top 8, maybe around like 7, 8, maybe even 6 if you're feeling a little bit bold.
Yeah.
705 yards, 7 touchdowns in 15 games last season. He's entering year 4, which is, that big year for tight ends where they kind of put it all together.
And payday.
Definitely. I hope he gets paid. I mean, if Hunter Long shows out, then it's not the end of the world if he goes. But I really want Mike. You have a top 10 tight end on your team. Keep him. Good
100%.
safety blanket for a young QB. His draft buddy, and I also believe roommate, Durham Smythe, more of a blocking guy, but he's had some production in the passing game. He's been, so just a guy who's there on the line to
run blocker with eventually, occasionally throw him out in a route, gets open, but he's
pick up 10
a locker room guy.
Mm-hmm. Hunter Long, the 2021 third-round pick. I don't know if you've watched any film on Hunter Long, but I severely overlooked this guy when evaluating the tight ends this year. I don't know if I had him in my top 5 or not, but I should have. He has wheels for a tight end, a big boy.
See, I haven't watched much of him. I've heard very good things. When the Dolphins picked him at the time, I was very pissed off because I'm pretty sure
I was so
right
confused.
ahead of Quinn Miners, right?
Yeah,
Quinn Miners was on the bike. I'm like, what are we doing?
I wanted Quinn Miners so bad.
Having depth at tight ends is always good, especially like the thing with Durham Smythe is if he's at tight end, it's like, all right, if they're probably gonna run the ball. Like Hunter Long provides probably better run blocking than I don't know if he's better run blocking than Gesicki at this point, especially with the development, but he provides a more well-rounded guy because Gesicki isn't a great run blocker. Smythe's not a great receiver. He's kind of in between. Mm-hmm. So let this guy develop. BC guy, you never know what can happen. He could like people are comparing him to some crazy people. I'm not even going to mention it, but people got high hope for Hunter Long.
I mean, second among FBS tight ends, only behind the legend himself, Kyle Pitts. So pretty impressive. You got the other guy, the other depth signing, Adam Shaheen. He was on the team for 1 or 2 years now. I'm not entirely sure.
Going into year 2.
Yep. Had a pretty decent, backup season with Miami. He caught some balls. I'm pretty sure he had that brilliant catch over Eric Rowe in training camp with a throw on the move from Tua. I was pretty impressed by that. So what I want to know, and there's also a Ethan Carter, probably going to be our starting fullback. Rest in peace, Chandler Cox. And then my Eric practice squad body. What I want to know is, do you think they keep 3 or 4 tight ends?
I think they keep 4. I think Shaheen gets cut. Carter gets kept as a tight end fullback and special team guy. I think Shaheen's stance on the vaccine doesn't help his odds to stay on the team.
What's his? Was he like outspoken against it?
Yeah, and it's like Hunter Long, Gesicki locks to make the team. I think the amount of they kind of gave Ethan Carter a solid contract, and between Smythe and Shaheen, I think Smythe just provides you need a run blocker in that tight end room. He's the best run blocker there. So I think it's going to be Gesicki, Smythe, Long, and then Carter makes it due to his versatility and special teams play.
Yeah. We're definitely not going to be starting a vaccine debate. We had enough of that today. But, let's move on to the big boys. Starting off the O-line with the offensive tackles. Austin Jackson, first-round pick last year, 18th overall pick. I put up the PFF grades because that's, the only really tangible number you can put to an offensive lineman, even though I believe PFF didn't give some of them the credit they deserve. Austin Jackson's is fair. He had a fairly up and down season, but we all knew he was a project, coming in at the 18th pick. Was like 20-year-old starting tackle. You're going to struggle. But you got to hope for development in year 2.
Yeah, I would say this group makes me extremely uneasy between Jack always going wild in the chat.
Of course. If
I
ever meet him, I'll be
Jack.
sure to ask.
Maybe if I'll get a plane ticket to Miami, go to training camp and ask him. But in terms of offensive tackles, it makes me uneasy. My biggest concern with the Dolphins this year is the line. Austin Jackson, he drafted with a high upside tackle, but we just want to see that growth in this year. But the Dolphins are going to be a team that tries to get the ball out fast. So as long as you can hold up and run block, that's what we need. So hold up, quick pass game, and then use the play action, max protect, take deep shots. So want to hope to see a good stride from Austin Jackson in year 2. Eichenberg, they got him playing guard and tackle. We don't Brian Flores said.
I don't know what's going on with Eichenberg.
So what he said, he wants to see people mix and match between guard tackle just in case someone goes down. You want to have versatility there, but there's also a point where you want to have chemistry built between 5 guys at the same position. Definitely. So I feel like Jesse Tavis might win the right tackle job, and Eichenberg's going to slide inside.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, the right tackle, since Tua is a lefty, the right tackle is the blind side. I hope Eichenberg can develop into the blind side blocker that we really need on this team. Davis, I like him as a backup, not so much as a starter. He can come in, he can hold it down a little bit, but I've grown to like him a little bit more as time is going on.
I think he starts as like the day one starter. I think they're gonna give him a couple game leash before they let Eichenberg take his job, in my opinion.
Probably, but Eichenberg, I'm pretty excited for him. He didn't allow a single sack last year at Notre Dame. By our friend, U Stadium friend Hude Nation. By his logic, that makes him better than Penei Sewell. So
that man is bold.
Oh man. But outside of that, those are probably the three contenders to be starters at the tackle position. Def guys, you got Larnell Coleman, 7th-round pick. This was a little bit out of left field for me. I was thinking this one would be a running back, although we did end up getting Jared Dokes. Coleman probably, starts off his career as a backup. I don't expect much from him, but, if you want to develop into a starter, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
Adam Pinky, he's been here for a while, I believe, just a backup / camp body practice squad guy. Same thing with Hubbard and Paris, two undrafted free agents from last year. But, you can never have too many big boys.
Exactly. We like the big men.
Speaking of big guys, how about we go into the interior offensive lineman? This guy is who I'm really excited about. Robert Hunt spent last season at right tackle. Now he's going to slide inside the guard, where I think we can really maximize his talents.
100%. I don't know who said it, but he could be a good tackle, but he can be an all-pro level guard. The man can move bodies. He's large.
Very big man.
I think he's gonna mess some people up this year. He's gonna be a big part of why we're gonna be able to run the ball better. Moving on to the big fish, Solomon Kinley. He's a little bit shaky.
What's going on with McKinley? Because why am I seeing reports that he's running with the 13?
He's running with the 13, but then even today he was running with the ones. And even once again, Flores addressed this. He's playing with 1s, 2s, and 3s. But the fact that he's all the way down to 3s isn't a nice sight.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was the best of the 3 rookies last season. Like he showed the most upside in my opinion. Like Hunt limited bad plays, but he didn't exactly blow us away. Austin Jackson, as we all know, he had his up and downs. Kinley was solid. I think he was the most rock solid of the 3.
I think he's the safest, but he doesn't provide like next level stuff. Like he's big as fluff. Yeah. So he's just gonna stand there and not be moved. But in terms of like pulling and stuff, he limits. He's
that might be it. Fish. New scheme, new offensive coordinators. They might want him pulling a little bit more.
Yeah.
The 3 other guys behind them are guards. Then the centers are the last 3. As for the guards, Robert Jones, I was pretty excited for him. I'm not sure if he makes the active roster though. I think he was a really good UDFA signing. I'm
going to be completely honest. I haven't seen anything of him. Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about him from camp, but I like what I saw. Derval Nito, I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly. Joined the team through the international program.
Yeah, I think he adds like an extra practice squad spot, so he doesn't hurt to be there. But he's never gonna make the game day roster. Respect you Brazilian legend.
I think it's cool that they do that.
It's cool. I just don't think he's ever going to see the field.
Yeah. This guy probably should have been a little bit higher. I think he should have been above Jones, but I added him in last moment. Jermaine
Aluminor. There you go.
Nice. Former Patriot, I believe. Miami Patriots, what we're building down here.
Yes, sir.
Probably depth piece. He could fill in for Hunt or Kinley in the event that they go down. I believe Kinley got a little bit banged up last season. And now
Flash's favorite center of all time.
Oh man, this center position. This has to be addressed in next year's draft. Like I'm okay with Skura, like for a year, but I want a new center. I want Mike Pouncey back.
Yeah. Hopefully Dieter just steals his job, takes the starting center job, and he's good. And we don't have to worry about it. But realistically, it looks like
that's the thing. I don't like Dieter either. I was
hoping in year 3 he developed well enough to be able to play the position. So you don't know though.
Our friend Jazz Vailoa on the app hates his guts. Shout out to him. But Dieter, I mean, apparently he looks stronger, and if he's running with the ones in camp above Skura, who started last year, maybe there's optimism to be had, but I really hope they address the position next year. And then you have Cameron Tom, spent 2020 season as the Saints backup, probably plays the same role here.
Yeah,
but
be competing.
That's it for the offense. Before we move on to the defenders, I just want to say, if you guys have any questions at all, we're going to have a little bit of a Q&A segment towards the end. So drop your questions in the chat. We'll feature you, we'll answer your questions, offer any thoughts that we may have. But with that being said, we move on to the interior defensive linemen.
More big meat. Let's go.
Yeah, they got
Pause.
They got some big dudes on this defensive line, and I'm very excited for these first three guys: Christian Wilkins, Rayquan Davis, Zack Steeler. I remember seeing a tweet, I think it was from Adam Beasley, from weeks 10 through 17, these three among interior defensive lineman trios led the league in tackles for loss, and it wasn't even close, by miles. Christian Wilkins doesn't offer that much, in the pass rush game. Only 3.5 sacks in 2 seasons, which is a little underwhelming. But, he's one of the emotional leaders of this team, very important to have around. Put him on the goal line, offense, play some fullback.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Need to carry one.
Everybody needs a locker room guy, and Christian Wilkins is our locker room guy. But he's a beast in the run game, though.
Yeah, and I think he's also developing the pass game. He's when you have a first-round pick, you expect him to blossom into a top 5 at the position, and he might be there eventually, but slowly but surely he'll get there. My favorite thing about this group, though, is they provide versatility. You can literally run a 3-4, 4-3, anything in between, because Rayquan Davis can play nose, 3-tech. Wilkins can play 3-tech, 5-tech. They all provide that versatility. So they allow you to play the multiple fronts, which is extremely beneficial with what we want to do, and it confuses teams when we can do that. So it's the versatility and the run. The ability to stop the run is nice. More pass rush would be cool, but that's what we got the outside backers for.
Definitely.
But the room's tight.
Rayquan Davis, I was pleasantly surprised by him last season, his rookie year. Led all rookie interior defensive linemen in tackles. Very good against the run. I was outspoken. I did not like the draft choice. I would have liked it in round 3, not so much in round 2. But he was a pleasant surprise. He came in at 330 at weight. That was a little bit shocking, because I'm pretty sure he was listed at 315 at Bama.
Isn't he 6'7"?
Yeah, he's a big dude. Probably the largest guy in the team.
He played nose last year, which I don't know, because they got John Jenkins back too, who also is obviously mainly a nose. So I think we might see more of him at 3-tech.
Definitely.
So the dude's tough to move. He's 6'7", 330 pounds. Good luck. And he showed some pass rush ability in college. Mm-hmm. It's hard to pass rush at the tackle position in the NFL, unless you're Aaron Donald, of course. But he's got all the potential in the world. So hopefully we see some improvement there.
Yeah. My favorite guy to this group, Zack Steeler. I considered where I said 11 tackles for loss last season. I considered just putting right there menace. I consider just saying menace and leaving it at that, because that's what he is. He's a menace in the run game. You cannot move him
out of nowhere too.
Yeah, thanks Splash for him.
Yeah, Splash
came over from the Ravens, but so good against the run. He really showed out last year against the Niners and the Bengals. I believe those were his 2 best games, and he was up there.
Skaters.
Yeah,
he hunts skaters for fun. Good luck trying to block him, please.
Yeah, he was up there in the tackle for loss rankings, among the NFL. Adam Butler came over for the Patriots, again, Miami Patriots. 15 sacks in 4 years, provide some good depth, some good pass rush whenever, we might see him on third downs a little bit, during those passing situations. Some good
especially with the
rotational
Miami
pieces.
Heat. Yeah, get these guys rotated in and out.
Definitely.
Wear down those O-lines. So when they're at Hard Rock in direct sunlight, good luck. They're cooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Jenkins, former Dolphin, probably just another depth piece. He'll probably make the roster. Benito Jones, I like him as a camp body anyways. Probably goes back to the practice squad. I hope he develops at some point. I would like to see that. Jerome Johnson, 21 sacks in 4 years at Indiana University, UDFA signing. Just another depth piece, good camp body. Probably goes to the practice squad.
Yep.
Why don't we go to the guys who are actually going to be stuffing the stat sheet this year, the edge rushers.
What we like.
Some of these guys, I wasn't sure whether to put them, in edge rusher or linebackers. You'll see some guys over in the linebackers that could be classified as an edge rusher. Some guys here could probably be classified as a linebacker. But these are the guys who I think are going to be rushing the passer the most out of the group. Emmanuel Ogbah, obviously, our most traditional on the line pass rusher, hand in the dirt. Career high 9 sacks last season, came over from the Chiefs after the Browns, I think. Was one of those guys who he showed flashes but never really put it together. Comes to Miami, gets a bigger opportunity, puts it all together. Career high 9 sacks, had 2 strip sacks that both led to touchdowns. Really excited to see him,
Dude not just flying off the edge. It's nice.
Yeah, definitely. But as much as I like Ogbah, I don't think he's the guy you want being like your premier pass rusher, and that's why you draft Jaelan Phillips.
I agree. And the thing with Ogbah too is some of those sacks are kind of scheme sacks, so it's a little misleading. But he does provide great pass rush value. But as you mentioned, Jaelan Phillips is where our money's at. The dude is going to be an absolute stud as long as his concussions don't become a problem. He was the best edge rusher in the draft. Just look at it. Look at that bicep. Are you kidding me?
I specifically picked out that picture. I was looking for pictures, and I was I remember there was a picture of Jaelan Phillips looking absolutely ripped.
Good luck, Mekhi Becton. Good freaking luck. You're cooked. I don't care. Jaelan Phillips win Rookie of the Year.
Oh my God.
Over 10 sacks, money down. Okay, sick of it. He's getting them sacks.
Then you got your Kyle Van Noy replacement, Andrew Van Ginkel. I remember a post. I was comparing the two. They put up really similar numbers. Kyle Van Noy, he offered more versatility. He could drop back into coverage sometimes. Van Ginkel doesn't quite provide that, but Van Ginkel was the more efficient pass rusher of the two.
And Van Ginkel is not getting paid a crazy amount. The thing with the Dolphins is they really gave out some bad contracts.
Yeah.
Van Noy is perfect for the defense. It's just you can't be paying him this much just to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They drew a lot of criticism for letting go of Van Noy and Lawson after just 1 year. But the job that Forrest had going into 2019 was to show improvement. And they needed to put a team out there that would compete, to build the culture. Going into last year, winning was not the priority. It was, improvement. But
you sure did show that.
This year is the priority is winning. So you want to get
Van Ginkel goes to war too, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. It was the Raiders game. The dude speed rushed the hell out of the dude, or I don't know which one. Sorry, I'm not the most technical guy. He just shoved him to the ground.
Bull rush.
Look at the hair.
Oh yeah, beautiful hair. Best hair on the team without a doubt. The depth pieces: Jonathan Ledbetter, Jason Stowbridge. Jason Stowbridge is a UNC guy. I remember him. Tyshawn Render. Do you remember that picture? I believe it was 3 years ago. Bill Belichick would skip the combine to go scout a guy at Middle Tennessee University's pro day in the rain. You remember that picture? That was Render. Yeah. Now he's on the team. The coaches have been working with him at camp. Probably
I remember we signed him. I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, I found that out when I was looking him up. But appeared in one game last season, probably a practice squad body, maybe gets elevated in the event that Ledbetter, Stowbridge, Van Ginkel goes down.
Yeah.
But I know we go to some guys who are also going to be rushing the passer, but also stopping the run, which is what they are very good at, the linebacker room. I say this is probably the most intriguing of all the position groups, maybe outside of wide receiver. But there are a lot of guys in here that I like. Not going to blow your socks off or anything, but that's what this team
Jerome
is.
Baker.
Yeah.
Jerome Baker
will
blow your socks sideline. Provide some good energy.
So good.
You got that bag too.
317 tackles in 3 years. Very impressive. He was very good as a blitzer last year as well. He's not the best in coverage, but what are you gonna? You got a great secondary. You don't even be that great in coverage. 7 sacks last year, over 100 tackles, one of the most underrated players in the league. Benardrick McKinney came over from the Texans. I thought this was a great trade. Shaq Lawson wasn't bringing that much. So
yeah, once again, it was one of those things where the money wasn't worth it, and you get a guy that's very good at stopping the run, very good at his job. He's not going to excel in the pass game, but he's going to stop the run. He's going to punch you in the math. Good luck running on him. That's what we need. So
yeah, he's been flying around in training camp too, getting run stops. I believe it was day 1 of pads. He showed out. So
I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was Brett Coleman trying to say he could be more. I don't know who he was referring to. I think might have been McKinney, kind of being our high tower. That'd be a nice. Obviously, that's high praise and
Yeah,
high
definitely.
expectations. But
I like
if you can get some kind of production like that,
I will talk down to Shaq Lawson all I want.
shout out Shaq
I
Lawson.
love it. I love him for that touchdown he got against the Cardinals, but that's about it.
He had some good energy too, though.
Yeah, he was a good locker room guy, but like you said, wasn't bringing what his contract was worth. New additions: Duke Riley, Shaquem Griffin, Brendan Scarlett. Duke Riley coming over from the Eagles, Griffin from the Seahawks, Scarlett from the Texans. All good depth pieces come in the event that McKinney or Baker goes down.
Big fan of Shaq Griffin. That dude is hilarious.
I love him.
Every video you see with him, he's just cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Got some speed. Like, I feel like he could be a good chess piece. Someone said on Twitter, a lot of other people's thoughts become my thoughts, and then I portray them as my thoughts. But he could be a very good guy. Like, obviously, he's not going to be a starter, but, like, occasionally, if you need a spy, throw him out there kind of thing. Especially against a team like the Bills and if the Patriots are running with Cam kind of thing. Yeah, just throw him in every now and again, spy the passer.
Yeah, because as we all know, the Dolphins are very good at stopping mobile quarterbacks. No, Kyler Murray went for 100 on us last year.
The thing is, though, is we've gone from regime to regime where it's progressively gotten – like, it used to be the Dolphins couldn't stop mobile quarterbacks or cover tight ends. Now we can cover tight ends, and we can't stop the quarterback running, but it's better than it was. True. But we play Lamar this year, so it's going to be a nightmare. So
yeah, Ravens own us. We'll get into that later, though. Vince Beagle, I believe, plays on the outside a little bit more than the inside. He'll rush the passer sometimes. Came over from the Packers, I believe.
Packers or Saints. But, yeah, I think he's more of an edge guy.
Yeah. Awesome gamer says the Bills are still going to dominate the AFCs. Maybe.
You're not wrong.
Maybe.
Shout out your profile picture, too. Salute my
Lyndon Roberts, was it? I think it was Roberts who suffered that injury toward the end.
Yeah, Broncos game. But once again, that guy, he's a leader in the locker room. You can tell guys feed off his energy, and he's a thumper. Like, there was multiple times. The Dolphins' 4th and inches defense, 3rd and inches defense is out of this world, and he was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Mother Fluffer would just shoot gaps and blast running backs, and they would fall backwards.
I was super impressed with our 3rd and short and 4th and short defense.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of another role he's going to play. He's going to be our main run stuffer. So we'll maybe see him on first downs if McKinney isn't there, kind of thing. And yeah, he also plays fullback. There you go, splash.
Oh man, no, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. I was about to say, doesn't he also kick? But that was Grugier Hill.
Yeah,
he went
Texan.
Texan now.
What are the Texans doing, man?
Texans got their kicker. Sam Aguavin. Definitely not saying that right, but he's been lighting up with the second team in camp, so probably another depth piece, rotational, get in there.
I feel like he's always one of those guys that does well in camp, even from when we first got him from the CFL, because he's fast. Like, the dude runs sideline to sideline. But, yeah, like you said, I think he's depth. I think he makes the team due to his special teams. But, actually, I don't even know because, like you said, this room is deep, so he might get cut, actually.
2 guys that probably don't make the team. I hope Calvin Munson gets cut. I do not like him, in all honesty. Kylan Johnson, haven't heard anything about him, really, but probably just a camp body, maybe practice squad. Calvin Munson, I'm pretty sure he had a roughing or unnecessary roughness penalty, and at that point, I was just like, okay, this man's got to go.
It was like Clayton Fedgelin last year. Whenever they're on the field, bad things happen. Keep them off the field.
We'll get the Fedgelin later. But but why don't we go to probably the best position group on this team, easily, by far, the cornerback room. I love this cornerback room. It might get a little bit worse in coming days with Xavier Howard.
I don't think so.
We can talk Xavier Howard trades another time. I don't want to do that right now. I think they gave him an offer today, I heard.
Yeah, no, I think I also saw the big part of that was they want to see him practice. So I think him coming out past, I honestly predict Xavier Howard gets signed within the next 24 hours. That's my prediction. It's going to be some kind of just throw him a bone. It's not going to be anything crazy. But even his trade request rubbed me the wrong way. So I was kind of on board with get him out of here. But it seems like the parties aren't as bad as it seemed. The dude's a stud though, so we need him.
like I get their approach with like, you just signed a contract. We don't want to like open the floodgates where guys like sign a contract and they outperform it and then they come demanding more money. You don't want to like, open that floodgate. But this is Xavier Howard. Dude was, the one of, if not the best corner in football last year. And I believe, he's significantly outperformed that contract and he wants more guarantees. And if that's all he wants, then give it to him. Give him the guarantees. Guys like Mahomes and Donald, they have clauses in their guarantee and in their contracts called rolling guarantees. Or like if you're on the roster in 2021, then your 2022 money becomes guaranteed. If you're on the roster in 2022, your 2023 money becomes guaranteed. I say institute something similar to that. I believe he's deserving.
Yeah, it's just run me the wrong way because he's acting like he got completely disrespected when we made him the highest paid player in the league, and then you want to act like you were like completely underpaid just because we signed Byron. And there's like he's got injury history and some character stuff. But once again, when he's on the field, he's arguably the best corner in football.
Game changer.
No team in the NFL played more man coverage than the Dolphins, and they played the safety away from Xavier. So that's
very little safety help all year.
That is the toughest position to beat, and he had 10 picks. Like no one had a better season than Xavier Howard last year, and the Dolphins are in win now mode. If you want to improve and develop, then trade him and develop Igbo. But we want to win now. You have that 5-year window with the rookie QB. Go all in. You got to keep Xavier. Dude's locked down.
Yeah. And then, all right, Brandon, I thought that we'll get to McCourty in a second. I put him into safeties. I know he plays both, but we'll get to him in a minute. Byron Jones, I'm not sure if he lived up to the contract he was given last year. He had his moments, but he also had his dud moments.
He certainly didn't live up to the contract. When you paid that much money, the expectations are super high. But once again, it's like he went from the Cowboys and he played man coverage, but when you go to the Dolphins demand a lot out of their corners, and when you have arguably the guy playing the best corner in the league, you're going to be targeted more than he was with Dallas, where he's locking the guy down. They're not going to test him, but he didn't do good with like he did in Dallas in terms of like he got targeted more, thrown out more, let up more yards, but he improved on what he wanted to do, which is turning his head to the ball and be able to play the ball, showing with the 2 picks. Like he's able to get his head around and make a play on the ball. So I think he's going to continue to like improve in the system.
Yeah, I believe he got a couple bad breaks too in the first Bills game and the Cardinals game. He had like airtight coverage on guys, but the offensive players just like made a better play, took the ball away from him. So a couple of bad breaks, got burned a couple of times, but outside of that, not bad at all. He's a very good number 2 corner.
And I want to address Awesome Gamer saying he doesn't think the Dolphins are top of the AFC. Like, we had 10 wins last year, and we got better. All right? Calm down.
We'll get to predictions eventually. Got a couple slot guys coming up, Justin Coleman and Nick Needham. I honestly hope Needham keeps the job just because of the familiarity in the system. Coleman probably steps in maybe, but I don't want to see Nick Needham on the outside ever again.
I feel like
I will say that
the type of guy that the coaching staffs or the front office has been trying to replace for like 2 years now, and they just can't do it. He's always there. He's a dog. Isn't he playing outside in camp with X-Gon? Because I feel like he's been pretty good so far in camp outside.
I think Igbo is actually playing outside.
Well, Igbo's going to get cooked too. But Needham in the slot. I mean, the thing is that Week 17 game against the Bills is demoralizing, where he just got cooked by Isaiah McKenzie like 3 times. Yeah, but he's provided exactly what you want in the slot all year, besides that one game. So give him the benefit of the doubt. I think him and Coleman are going to be fighting for that slot position for sure, though.
Igbo, I could go on and on about Igbo, how much I didn't like that pick and how much I hated him during his rookie year. But I'll just leave it at I hope he improves. I think, he's got the tools. Just please put him together.
Yeah, he was the youngest player in the league last year, like in his 3rd year at corner. Obviously, it didn't work out, and it looks silly on the outside. But you just got to let it go. Hopefully he develops and gets better, and then eventually when his number's called, he balls. So
yeah. Then a couple new guys, Kravon Leblanc. Some Eagles fans say he ended Breeze's career. Not quite. Jamal Perry, he's been on the team for a while. Very good def piece. Again, don't want to see him on the outside. He's another slot guy. Terrell Bonds, maybe a cut candidate, honestly.
Yeah, like this back half of the list, they're all young guys, but yeah, I think they're not really going to make
One guy I'm really intrigued by is Trill Williams.
Yeah,
he was signed by the Saints, failed a physical, but the Saints were going to re-sign him, but Miami was like, nope, ours. Those Syracuse DBs are good. I'm telling you.
And the Dolphins, they're between Josh Boyer and Flo. They got track records of turning UDFA guys into superstars. So
definitely.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm. And Askew, Ellis, and Davis, all probably camp bodies, practice squad guys. Probably a similar fate for them this year. But this is, like I said, without a doubt, our best position group on the team.
I think it's where the most money is too.
Without a doubt. Why don't we go to, in my opinion, the most underrated position group on the team, the safeties. Got a lot of really good guys here, minus the guy in the bottom right. Eric Rowe, I believe year 3 or maybe year 2 with the Dolphins. I'm not entirely sure. Tight end eraser. I love Eric Rowe. He's not gonna stuff the stat sheet or like really make any eye-popping plays, but he's gonna shut down any tight end that's not named Travis Kelce or Darren Waller.
And the thing with those things, like he played lockdown coverage against those guys. Literally, all they did was just throw it up, and those guys just outbodied him. But he played tight, and Dolphins fans were like going wild again. Like the dude was playing lockdown coverage. He's just
and like
you gotta grow your arms or something. Like And then the guy so when everyone mentions the Dolphins and their new additions, the guys they talk about are Fuller and Waddle, and respectively. But the most underrated addition is Javon Holland. Like
without a doubt.
The dude's going to be asked to do a ton, and it's going to be difficult for a rookie to do as much as he's asked, but there's a reason Brian Flores, who's got, I would say, an expertise in safeties, took Javon as the first safety off the board. The dude can play – he can play the post. He can play nickel. He can play sub linebacker. Like, he can play everywhere on the field, and he's exactly what the Dolphins want and are, I think, hoping to be their Devin McCourty.
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me about Javon Holland is his range, and that's what we needed with Bobby McCain going. Bobby McCain was one of the better center field safeties in the league over the past couple of years. Yeah, I
see him go.
Definitely, I'm going to miss Bobby. Hopefully, Washington treats him well.
Hopefully, they want to. If the Dolphins don't win the Super Bowl, I want it to be the football team because they got Fitz and Bobby. Let's go.
Yep. But Holland, the other thing that stands out about him is he's a ball hawk. Dude had 9 interceptions, 4.5 sacks in 2 years at Oregon. Very impressive stuff. And
I saw a clip of him. It's like he was playing a drag, and he recognized the quarterback's eyes and jumped another route that like he wasn't even close to like supposed to guard. And it's just like those are things that you don't coach, and it's just instinctual, and that's what you want. Like those kind of guys can really like Tyrann Mathieu level impact. I'm not saying he's gonna be, but when you have that kind of skill, your ceiling is through the roof.
I think we might miss Bobby this year, but in the years to come, Holland will be an upgrade.
Yeah, I agree. Because Bobby played his role perfectly, but he was getting paid a little bit, and he was getting older. But Javon's the younger guy, and that's perfectly put. Like it might be a regression in that position for this year, but in the future, sky's the limit.
Yeah. So I know we moved down to the box safety, Brandon Jones. He was flying last year around the field. I was pleasantly surprised by him. I was a little bit confused at the pick at the time, but, it turned out pretty well. Brian Flores knows the safeties.
And the thing is with the Dolphins, they game plan every week and they run different packages. So week 1, you expect the safeties to be Bobby McCain, Eric Rowe. And then here you go. Brandon Jones played like basically every snap. It was crazy. So that's basically – he's like a big nickel. So when you want 3 safeties on the field, he's going to be that third guy in the box, helping stop the run.
Then you got the new addition, Jason McCourty. Probably does most of his work on special teams. Old friend of Byron Flores. I like having him on the team though. Good veteran presence. Every team needs vets.
Yeah, maybe you can get some information from the Pats, as if we need more.
Get their playbook.
Honestly, I could see him getting some snaps because the Dolphins also do rotate their DBs a lot. Definitely. So I think he gets some snaps.
Plays in the slot, maybe. One of our 15 slot corners. Nate Hawley. Probably just a camp body practice squad guy. I will not even entertain the idea of Clayton being on the team this year. I hope he's cut within the next couple of days.
He's a special team superstar. That's all he is. Yeah. I think that alone, honestly, he was a captain last year. Like, listen, if Bobby McCain stayed healthy the entire Chiefs game, we probably won because we had this weight though running around center field looking like a clown.
Bobby McCain got hurt, and then the next play, Clayton got roasted.
It's unfortunate, right? But I think his special teams value probably gets in roster spot, but you don't know.
I get it. All right, we're running out of time.
Specialist, baby. Give me the specialist.
Let's go. Favorite part of football. We're going to have to move through these pretty quickly because we're running low on time. But Jason Sanders, kicker won last year. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Best kicker in the league last year. Too. Probably Tucker's probably better. Maybe.
No.
I mean, I won't argue with you, but 36-39 on field goals. He began the year like 20 of 20. Super impressive. Perfect on extra points. I'm the Drew Lock hater. I'm also the Drew Lock hater, though. You know me. I do not like Drew Lock. Pilardi, the new punter. Rest in peace, Matt Hawk. I'll miss you. But apparently, Pilardi's been booming it in camp.
He's been balling. I thought Hawk was a stud, but Pilardi, everyone was like saying like that was a good move. So, hey.
Yeah, he had a season-ending injury last year, and then he comes into camp this year. He had 4 punts, 3 of them inside the 5. One of them bounced on the 1 like 3 times. I was like, whoa, okay, we got a new punter. Then, of course, you got Blake Ferguson, 6th-round pick, long snapper.
Never seen a snapper taken that high.
Long snappers are people, too. I'm pretty sure there was one taken in the 6th round this year. But
oh, wow, look at that.
But as far as I can recall, I didn't see a bad snap from him last year. I splashed in the private chats at Cheeseman. I'm pretty sure he was drafted this year. And then there was also a guy from Alabama taken, I think.
And I think Ferguson's.
I think hold on, let me go back. Let me go back to running backs. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Carl Tucker played a long snapper. I could be totally wrong.
I have no idea if he snapped some balls or not.
He started at UNC, but then he transferred to Bama. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, before we get into the Q&A, you go all the way back. Who's your surprise cut and who's your surprise makes the roster?
I don't want to say it, but I think my surprise cut, I don't know if it's even that much of a surprise, but it's going to be – is Lynn Bowden a surprise cut?
That was my answer. I think Lynn Bowden.
All right, then I'll take Preston.
Preston.
Like the receiving – I love Preston Williams. Dude's a stud, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And there's so many guys there that he probably gets maybe – but surprise cut Preston. Surprise makes the team. Fluff it. The intern – the white running back, Patrick Laird, making the squad.
Oh,
let's go.
If you say so. My surprise cut, as I mentioned earlier, I think it will be Lynn Bowden. My surprise makes the team. I'm not sure how much of a surprise this is, but I think Mac Hollins is in no danger of being cut simply because of his special teams value.
Yeah, and he's been showing receiving skills. I like that pick. That was a good pick.
Yeah. Why don't we get into a little bit of Q&A? We had a push on the app.
Let's go.
Fifth.
I didn't see these.
First one, we got Fifth saying, how do you go 10-6 and miss the playoffs? I don't know. Ask the NFC.
Dude, football team had 6 wins, bro. Like, come on.
7.
That's just not fair.
They had 7, but oh my God.
I hope there's some juicy questions.
I can't believe you had like 7 playoff teams and you only sent 5 with a winning record to the playoffs in the NFC. That was.
And they sent 7 teams and we had 10 wins and still didn't make it. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's frustrating, but as much as frustrating as it is, you got to admit, if we made it into the playoffs, we would have been blasted.
Pause.
We would have played the Bills. We would have played the Bills.
Well, it's like matchup things. Like the Bills fluffed us up because the way Dabble schemed against our defense was literally perfect. Some teams weren't able to do that. So jerseys in the background, got Ricky Williams, happy 420, and then my dog David Wright. You know how it goes.
Going back to the app, we got Ensoleto 24. Dolphins suck. Okay, pal. Let's see what his team is.
It's the Jets.
It's the
Jet bot at its finest. Jets, you guys suck.
He has a little Raiders thing in his profile pic. Actually,
we smacked that ass out Fitzmagic. We're gonna do it again this year, baby.
Splash, you want to pull out the picture? Never mind.
Am I not a curse? I've been. I'm sorry, you Stadium. My bad.
We've sworn on here. We've sworn on here before. I'm pretty sure I got angry discussing the. Yeah, Splash said it's fine.
All right, cool.
All right, so we got a bunch of questions from Steel City Jake, friend of the show. With the Finns wide receiver core being so stacked, do you guys see a situation where there's an odd man out? We discussed that. I think it's Lynn Bowden. You think it's Preston. It's probably going to happen. One guy that we all like is probably going to leave. It's unfortunate, but it's understandable. What will/should the O-line look like for week 1? All right. Ideal offensive line. We're going left to right. Left tackle, Austin Jackson. Left guard, Solomon Kinley. Center, who cares? Right guard, Robert Hunt. Right tackle, Eichenberg. That's my ideal offensive line.
That's ideal. What I actually see happening is from left to right, Austin Jackson. Ooh, this is tough.
It probably goes
Austin Jackson, Davis. No, I'm gonna go Eichenberg tackle. So
okay.
Jackson, Davis, Dieter, Hunt. Actually, you know what? No. Flush it. Jackson, I'm gonna say Big Fish makes the starting roster. Jackson, Big Fish, Solomon Kinley, Dieter, Hunt, Jesse Davis to start, but gets replaced 3 games in by Eichenberg.
Yeah, if I had to guess what it looks like, I hope Kinley makes the roster, but what it looks like right now. This will all be clear, and during preseason, this is by no means probably going to stick. But what it looks like right now is Jackson, Eichenberg, Dieter, Hunt, and then Davis on the right tackle. I hope that doesn't stick. It probably won't. We'll see during preseason.
What Florida said was that they're going to narrow it down to like 8 guys, and those 8 guys are kind of going to fight for the 5 roles.
Okay, that makes sense. What will Hunter Long's utilization look like being Gesicki's backup? We sort of touched on this. I think he's going to take over the tight end 2 role, hopefully. I think he's going to be like, the supplemental guy, put him out in the flat, maybe 2 tight end sets, run him across the middle. He's got wheels, so get him out in space. Maybe
he probably sees decent bit of snaps, honestly, because the Dolphins like rotating those tight ends in.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts on Forrest's statement on the Howard situation? Forrest is the type of guy, he's not going to reveal anything to the media.
He said nothing.
he's going to say what needs to be said. So, obviously you would say, but I like that he gave Xavier respect. Treats him as a professional. Xavier's been handling himself as a professional. So I hope that situation gets resolved. Respect to Forrest for, not creating any more drama.
Yeah.
Who do you guys see as a potential breakout star for the defense? Not named Jalen Phillips.
Come on. Javon Holland, fluff it. That's my guy,
yeah.
Javon Holland. But, I mean, it's a tough position. Shout out, Jack. Breakout star. Yeah, that's my guy, Javon. Shout, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see Rayquan Davis break out in a big way.
Or even can Wilkins still break out if he gets some sacks?
Yeah, get some pass rush. All 3 of those interior defensive line guys, honestly, throw Steeler in there. We already kind of touched on the Howard situation. Treylin Bowden Jr. Do you think?
I just don't know if
he could find a
late round pick. Yeah, I'm down to trade him. Respect to the guy, but we just got too many guys.
Yeah.
Well, we traded a 3rd round pick for him, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's all we really got, unless there's some other stuff in the chat that we missed over. But, I mean, pretty good show. First time going, I think.
Time flew.
This will hopefully be a weekly thing. Trade the Lindos for Harry. Hell no. You can have a pack of peanuts for Nikhil Harry. So shout out to everybody who joined. Shout out Jack. Shout out Ryan. Shout out everybody who was active in the chat today.
Also, we made a bunch of money. We got like $7, so
let's go.
I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah, we hope for this to be a weekly thing. I don't know if it'll be every Saturday. We both kind of have complicated work schedules, but we're definitely going to try and get this to be a weekly thing. Have more content going into the season. We'll do game previews, game reviews, film study, perhaps. In draft season, we can get into a little bit of that sort of stuff. I can invite you on the clock, perhaps. But good for a show, I think. And shout out to everybody who came out. Shout out everybody who was active in the chat. We will see you guys around sometime next week. As mentioned earlier, subscribe to the channel. watch the other shows. You got Play Like a Jet. You got the 49ers show. You got Time Out with You Stadium. You got the Sports Desk. Shout out Splash and Jack. We will see you guys around. Join the app.
My dogs.
Follow us at the Dolphins Dive on Instagram and Twitter. And we will see you guys later.